button. Drive, Algebra, Studente folder, Triumphs. Come on, Frank. Okay. All right. Last time we had done the progress check. The idea was we've done a couple of lessons, especially the stuff about exponent rules, probably new. We need to make sure that we were good on it. Before I go moving on, I'll come back over here and we are going to write, what are our rules? I will put them back over there, but we're going to get some new ones today, so this is important. We have rule number 1 says do this, it's this. Rule number 2. Oh wait, no, the first one was anything to 0. Okay. Too much thunk. Okay. First up, if I have anything to the 0 power.
Is automatically 0?
No.
No, wait, 1.
1. Okay, close. Next up, if I have to the... Would you prefer if I use numbers up here instead of variables? Like variables goes for everything, but
variables and numbers.
But if I just use the numbers, you understand what's happening?
Yeah.
And you understand that it's not just for those numbers, it's for any number?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I know sometimes this might make it easier to understand for some folks. So, 3. When I have two exponents being multiplied together, I want something that contrasts. We'll try red. If I do x to the 3rd times x to the 4th, you remember what we do? Add them together. So I'm going to say 4, 4, 4, 4. Yes, indeedy. I will add those two together. What if I have an exponent raised to an exponent?
The 4 goes to all variables.
Okay, so if I had like here, that 5 would go to everyone inside, so it'd be 3. Well, what do I do with that? Exponent raised to an exponent. Yeah? Multiply. Okay. So I'll multiply those together. I'll multiply by the 5. I'll multiply by the 5. Okay. Those are the rules that we have so far. They have actual words. They're called the 0 property of exponents. They're called the product of powers property, the power of a power property, the power of a product property. But that's a lot of... It's a little too much, right? Words are hard. Is it better if we just look at it this way and say rule 1, 2, 3, or 4? And we do that for our class. So we're going to make sure... I remembered this time. Writing sideways is hard. Save me. Okay. Then Kyle won't get rid of our stuff tonight. Okay. If y'all ever wander around after school, Kyle is the custodian for this area and super nice dude. Like one of the coolest guys to ever work here. I like him. He's a good guy. So anyway, we did that. We also did properties, remember, commutative, associative, all that kind of business. What did we do? Distributive, identity. We actually did that just 2 days ago in my fourth block, my algebra half class, which means it's something that you saw last year. We were just reviewing it. Now, after doing a little bit of make sure we remember this stuff, okay, we had to go through all of this just kind of verbally and writing on the whiteboard because Frank was dead. Well, welcome to Zombie Frank. Flip it over, section 1.3. If I can multiply exponents, today we're going to divide them. Okay?
You said there's no such thing as dividing or subtracting.
I said there was no such thing as dividing. So that means that if we are dividing exponents today, we're probably not actually dividing. We're just going to tweak our multiplication rules to fit when it looks like division. Basically, if you could do 1, 2, 1, 3 is almost the same thing. Which is why I'm not taking yet another day of practice for 1, 2, because we're getting all of our practice right here. Okay? Everyone got 1, 3 ready to roll? Okay, I gotta ask, are you related to the Fergusons in any way?
I don't know who they are.
Like a family of red-headed Fergusons in town?
No.
Okay.
Nobody in my family has red hair.
God, you look like Braden. You act like him. Just everything. Okay. It's giving me flashbacks. It's weird. Anyway, I've had that before where you get kids who are cousins, but they look like they might as well be siblings. Siblings that look like they should have been twins. My grandpa's brother was like 12 years older than him. They could have been twins. Easy. So it's been weirding me out for 2 weeks now. All right. Whoa, whoa, whoa. That's right. Slow down there, Frank. Slow down, Frank. Whoa there, buddy. Okay. First one. Properties with negative exponents. You're like, what? Negatives? No. Why'd you bring those into this? If I have x to a negative thing, it's like a light switch. It brings something from numerator to denominator or denominator to numerator. Okay? So if I have x to the negative second, it's like a light switch. The negative tells you, you're upstairs? Cool. Go downstairs. That's what the negative does. All you do is put that x to the second on the bottom, no more negative. If I have a negative on the denominator, well, you're downstairs. Hit the switch. Go upstairs. Now it's x squared on a numerator. That's it. That's all the negative exponent does. It doesn't mess with anything else. It just tells it upstairs, downstairs, upstairs, downstairs, upstairs, downstairs.
Basically the opposite.
Yes. And I love that you said that exact word because opposite, isn't that what the negative sign means? So when the negative sign is in front of a regular number, it means the opposite of. Not 5, negative 5. 5 on the upside down. Okay? This, if I see a negative, it tells me you're on the numerator, go to the denominator. You're on the denominator, go to the numerator. Opposite. Like a light switch. I gotta know, particularly because of the amount of neurodivergent people in the room, who in here has that room that has the big, like 3 or 4 light switches on different sides of the room, and it drives you bat crap crazy when you've got like 2 are up, 1 is down, 1 is up. But the lights are off, right?
Does it have to be in your room or?
Oh, just anywhere in the house. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like for me, it's no. Either you're all down or you're all up. Knock that off. If the lights are off in the room, then why aren't they down? Oh, that drives me nuts. Okay. So you got negative exponents, just flippity flop things. That's all they do. Quotient of powers. I want you to think about this. Normally, when I take an exponent raised to an exponent, we downshift it and we multiply. When I multiply exponents, I downshift that and I add them, right? Normally, with regular integers, multiplying is things that always make numbers bigger, right? So if those all downshifted, exponents became multiply, multiply became add. What do you think is going to happen with division that normally makes things smaller? If I take an exponent and divide it by an exponent, well, if I took an exponent times an exponent, I added them. Now I'm taking an exponent divided by an exponent. What's the next lower operation that makes things smaller? Subtract, right? That's what this is, the quotient of powers property. Now they're going to write it out big so you can see why this works. I hate you, Frank. So, if I were to write this out longhand, 3 to the 8th and 3 to the 6th, you all agree that's 8 3s, 6 3s. What's 3 divided by 3? 1, right? What's 5 divided by 5? 30 divided by 30. Negative pi divided by negative pi. Waffles over waffles. 1. Anything over itself is always 1. So 3 over 3 is 1, is 1, is 1, is 1, is 1, is 1. What am I left with? A pair of 3s. Well, wait a second. This one was 2 bigger than this one. Couldn't I have just subtracted them? Save yourself the work. So that's going to be rule number 6. Okay, if any of you had that note card out, this is where you should add it to it. Okay, rule number 6 says if I take an exponent divided by an exponent, then I subtract them. Okay, if I take, where do you go? If that's 4 over 3, let's make those bigger so you understand. Well, you know what, let's just use this exact one, 8 over 6. Now here's why it works. As soon as I said we're going to divide exponents, Kevin comes along and he says, but there is no division. You said there's no division. Why are we doing a division assignment if you said that's not a thing? It doesn't exist. Check this out. If I have 3 to the 8th over 3 to the 6th, that's dividing, right? And I said there is no such thing as dividing. So if there's no such thing as dividing, do you remember what we said we actually do? I don't divide by 2. Dividing by fractions is easy as pie. Flip the second and multiply. You don't actually divide by things, you multiply by a reciprocal. The reciprocal feature is flipping numerator and denominator. We just talked about negative exponents. This positive 6 here can be rewritten as times 3 to the negative 6. See, I flipped. The negative means flip. Upstairs or downstairs, numerator or denominator. Upstairs or downstairs, upstairs or downstairs. Well, it was positive, so if it flips upstairs, now it's negative. Opposite. Now if they're upstairs, what did I do with an exponent times a exponent? I added them. This now says 3 to the 8 plus negative 6. There is no such thing as subtraction, it's just addition. So when we have this rule that says when I divide exponents, I just subtract them, it's because I'm allowed to add negatives. This is all connected. Now, I'm going a little off the deep end here because I think that's just friggin' cool. Because I just like how math connects like that. It doesn't mean you have to. It means you can do something nice and simple like if I say x to the 12th over x to the 9th. Dividing exponents. When I divide exponents, I just subtract the exponents. 12 minus 9 is 12 minus 9 is. Y'all hurting me deep in my soul here. Yes, is x to the third. You don't have to overthink these. Okay? So since these got a rule very, very similar to multiplication of exponents, if I multiply exponents, I really add them. If I divide exponents, I really subtract them. If I got a bunch of junk in parentheses with an exponent, everybody gets the exponent. Same thing's true on fractions. Same thing's true when I have division. If there's a 4 right here, you get a 4 and you get a 4. This is 4 to the 4th and 3 to the 4th. They both get it. And we all got a calculator that can help us through those. So if I say, as a fraction, not a decimal, I don't care what your calculator tells you. If I asked, what is 6/7 to the 3rd? They both get that exponent. Okay, this is now 6 to the 3rd over 7 to the 3rd. Everyone better have a calculator next to them in my class. Press that button. And don't you dare tell me the decimal. Figure it out. Everybody gets it. Press the button. Figure it out. You do not need to type this in as a fraction. I'm just asking you to do it in pieces. Okay. If I have 6 over 7 to the third, it's the same as 6 to the third and 7 to the third. Someone who pressed the button. What is 6 to the third? 216. It's big. 7 to the third. 343. And you leave it like that. We're going to do that a lot in this class, where unless it's a word problem that says I have to do it this way or it starts with decimals. Anyone here this year or last in debate? Okay. In debate, there's a concept. Okay, who here been to court? Okay. There's this thing called precedent. Precedent is if you talk about the thing, if you bring up the thing, I now get to attack the thing. So let's say I'm in court because I kind of paintballed some cows and then tipped them over. Because then at least they're pretty when they're falling over. And I'm in front of a judge and he's yelling at me and doing stuff, and my attorney's like, well, you know, and I say, yeah, there was never a problem any other time I did it. I just brought up there are now other instances of it. Now there's a precedent. Now things change. Now you can attack my history of things. Okay? A precedent in a math problem is they were already in decimals. So I'm allowed to use decimals. If not, in this class, we're doing fractions because fractions are how real big kids work. And if you don't like fractions, you can always press the button on the calculator to make it do it for you. I don't care. Okay? That's it. 3 new rules. Everyone see them over there. We've got a total of 7 rules now. Anything to the 0 power is 1. If I multiply exponents, I add. If I subtract or I divide exponents, I'll subtract. If I have an exponent raised to an exponent, I'll multiply. If I got a bunch of stuff in an exponent, they all get it. And a negative exponent flips things. That's what we got. Those are our rules. Yes, they all have words. I'm not going to bother with the words anymore. I would rather that we knew how. So we come on down here, and for example 1, they're going to say, simplify this for favor. Any day, Frank. Thank you. So when I have 5 to the negative 4th, I come over here and I say, which rule am I looking at? Rule 5 has things to negatives. Rule 5 says if there's a negative exponent, I flip. Upstairs or downstairs. So this 5 to the negative 4th goes downstairs as a 5 to the positive 4th. I either write it out longhand or grab my calculator to say 5 to the 4th is 625. So it's 1 over 625. Don't write it as a decimal. You know how many times I've already said don't write it as a decimal. We will write it as a fraction. Guarantee you, the first time I set you loose in here, there's going to be 3 kids who write it as a decimal because they ain't listening. Okay? Fraction, good. Decimal, bad. That's all I want. Okay. So, walk me through. Hey, that was actually fast. Good job, Frank. The exponent is negative. So I'm going to use they want me to say negative powers property or whatever it says in the book. We're just going to say use the, say that again, Kevin. Use the rule number 5 property, because that's the rule number 5 on our list. I'm cool with that. So we move this guy downstairs and we say, now that I have flipped it to the opposite part of the fraction, it's not negative anymore. Y'all teenagers, okay, who in here has their bedroom in the basement? Okay, you get home, you're just being a giant crab, your parents can't stand you right now because you're ruining dinner, and they say, just go to your room. Because you're being so negative. And when you go downstairs, aren't you happier?
Yeah.
Right? Now, if you actually do the crab walk to your basement, that's double funny right there. Okay. So, now that I got into the 5th downstairs, I know that means 2 by 2 by 2 by 2 by 2. Write it as a fraction. 1 over what? What is 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2? Don't you dare say 10. 32. Okay. Grab a calculator. Does everyone have 2 to the 5th? Okay, I'll even use the calculator on the lame screen here. I'll use the really, really bad. There we go. The calculator that's on every single person's.
32.
Right? Now I can just keep smashing together a bunch of 2's, or 2, and I got a little exponent here, to the 5th. Okay? Let the calculator do the work for you. You're going to find in that regard I'm way different than other math teachers. I firmly believe in having open notes. I believe in using your calculator. I believe in using the right tools, because my job right now isn't to teach you how to multiply together 5 2's. My job is to teach you the properties of exponents. If you need the calculator to do the arithmetic part of it, I'm okay. I'm not going to go and make us try to memorize our multiplication tables again. Y'all, in 10th grade, we started doing multiplication tables in 2nd. If you don't know how to do 7 times 8 off the top of your head by now, grab the calculator. Let it do it for you. We got other stuff to learn. I'm okay with that, because these are the skills we're supposed to be learning, and that's just a tool to help us learn the thing we're supposed to be learning. So please make sure you got a calculator, you know what you're using, or you know how to use. But yes, it is 1 over 32. Okay. Example 2. Who's getting that exponent? Okay, there we go. Who's getting that exponent? Both of them, right? Parentheses. Group hug. Okay? I don't know. Say Micah's standing on top of Caden's shoulders. If I come over there and I shoulder check Caden, you're both going down, right? Because you are both grouped together. So when I hit one, I hit both. Okay? So 2 different bases are raised to the same exponent. Which property does it look like? Look through our list.
7.
Rule number 7, parentheses stuff, fraction to an exponent. And that says everyone's getting that exponent, which is exactly what Caden just said. So I'm going to use and I'll just simplify and say this is rule number 7. I'm okay with that. Raise each base to the exponent, and then what do I do with an exponent raised to an exponent? Exponent raised to an exponent? Who has an exponent
Oh, 3.
raised to an exponent?
3.
Rule number 3, right? Just say it, man. I'll let you get a little bit in now. If you're running away with the ball, not sharing, being a ball hog, then I'll cut you off. Okay? We're going to multiply. That's 3 to the third and 2 to the third. Now, technically, there's a little 1 right there, so that's why they're saying multiply, because it's 1 times 3, 1 times 3. So if I got 3 to the third and 2 to the third, what is 3 to the third?
9.
27. Remember, that's 3 times 3 times 3. Okay? But that's okay. Yo, never, ever, ever be afraid to say it. What's the worst case scenario? You're wrong? Oh, well, I learned something. Do you know how many times I stubbed my toe on the corner edging right next to our fridge? I made a mistake. It hurt. I didn't make it again for another month. And then I ran into it again. Oh, I made a mistake. I shouldn't do that again. Now it's been 3 months since I've done it. Every time you make the mistake, you learn something from it, if you're willing to learn from it. Okay? Yes, 3 to the third is 3 by 3 by 3 is 27. What is 2 to the third? 8. Okay. Saw a wonderful gameplay video a couple days ago. A couple guys sitting around playing card game, Commander, Magic. Play with my nerds in Game Club all the time. And dude does a thing. And they're like, yeah, it doesn't work that way. You want to just take that back? And he says, no. The only way I'm going to learn is by making the mistake. I did the thing. It didn't work the way I wanted it to. I screwed up. Now there's a consequence. The only way I'm going to stop making this mistake is if I have the consequence. If you let me take it back, well, I'm just going to keep doing it. He ended up losing the game because of it, but he did it with pride. Okay? That's okay. I want you to feel comfortable being wrong in here. So, I'll head on down here. Guided practice. Talk me through. If I have 9 to the 12th over 9 to the 10th, take a look at your rules. Which rule does it look like? Oh, that's got a fraction in it, though. That's like something over something. There you go. Rules 6 and 7 have fractions in them. This says 9 to the 12th over 9 to the 10th. I don't see any parentheses. So is it rule 6 or 7? 6. Process of elimination, right? It looks like rule 6. Rule 6 says I subtract things, so I'm going to write 12 minus 10 is 2. And then 9 to the second power. If you can mental mojo, great. If you got to press the button, also great. 81, because it's 9 squared. Okay. I said, if you can memorize your squares through 20, cubes through 10, fourths through 5, as many powers of 2 and 3 as you can possibly memorize. I tell kids that from algebra half all the way up through pre-calc. You're just going to run across those numbers so often. They're just as important in high school as your basic multiplication was in middle school. Okay, over here, I see 2 to the negative 8th. Look at your rules. Go over there, look for a negative exponent. Rule number 5. Rule number 5 says, if I have a negative exponent, flip the switch. So now it's 1 over 2 to the 8th. Remember, when it flips downstairs, it loses the negative. You were negative. Oh, bud, get a better angle on it than that. Like, get up and just get it. Okay? I don't care. I want you to. Just get me out of the picture, though. I've had my soul stolen enough. Been around too many redheads. Okay. 2 to the 8th. I want to hear Sir Arturo. 2 to the 8th. Yeah, 2 to the 8th. It's right there. What is 2 to the 8th? Can anyone confirm that? Oh, okay.
I got 256.
I'm just making sure. You good? It's all like, they called on me. No. No, it's all good. Okay. I asked Kai this question earlier. Have I seen you before? Did you do the makerspace stuff back in middle school? No? That wasn't you? Never did the weekend magic tournament or nothing with us? No?
I've actually never touched back.
Okay. Kai, you look familiar. Okay. I was going through old pictures and I saw that Kai was in there. Like, just sitting there slinging cardboard like 4 years ago. It was great. Okay. Down here. Oh no. Oh no. There's too many exponents. There's too many things. There's parentheses and an exponent. Take a look at your rules. Who up there has parentheses, a fraction, and exponents, right? Rule number 7. So rule number 7 says do what? Who's getting that 3?
You multiply it.
They both get them. And our exponent to an exponent, rule number 3, says I'll multiply both of them. Name the property used, blah, blah, blah. Okay, the two bases are raised to the same exponent. Raise each base to the exponent, and then Kevin said we're going to multiply. So I'm going to write x to the 4th gets to the 3rd, and x to the 2nd also gets a 3rd, and I will multiply those, getting 12 and 6, respectively. I still ain't done. There's more blank boxes there. Now I have an exponent divided by an exponent. Which of the properties does it look like? Yeah?
Rule 6.
Looks like rule 6, right? Exponent over exponent. Rule 6 says do what? Subtract them. So 12 minus 6 is? There you go. Now, we talked about the properties of multiplication and addition. Real quick. What's 5 times 3?
15.
What's 3 times 5?
15.
What property is that?
Identity
Yeah, starts with C. Commutative property. Okay, the order I multiply things in doesn't matter. Exponents are about repeated multiplication. So that means we're going to start getting multiple ways to do the problem. Check this out. Over here, what if I said x to the 4th over x to the 2nd to the 3rd? What if I didn't deal with that 3 yet? Look at what's inside the parentheses. X to the 4th over x to the 2nd. What can I do with that?
You can flip the switch, make the 2 a -2, and take 4 minus 2, which you get 2, and then you just be able to multiply.
Right? We got this rule that says exponent divided by exponent, I'll subtract those. Or use the negative property to bring it upstairs and add the negative. Either way, this turns into x squared to the 3rd by simplifying what's inside the parentheses first. And then, exponent to an exponent, I multiply them. Same thing. You're going to start seeing this, where these problems are going to get bigger, wilder. So that means there's more ways to solve them. Because multiplication is commutative. The order I do it in doesn't matter. As long as you're following math law, go for it. If I ask everyone in here right now, how do you get from here to Walmart? You know what?
So you drive there.
You drive there. Okay. Let's get a little more explanation than that. Okay.
Yeah, you go on the road and then you go by some place and you stop by Applebee's.
Go on the road, stop by the place, and then there's Applebee's. I don't know if I'm going to be able to follow those instructions, but I know where you're talking about. Has anyone got a little more detail than that? You go on the highway. Turn when you see a Walmart sign. Okay?
Hop on Highway 14, go up until the next exit, hop off that exit, take a left, go down that road for a little bit until you reach the second stoplight. Take a right, you go down that road, and your destination is on your right.
Oh, and I love how he's throwing in the little like Siri GPS at the end. Your destination is on the right. Like that's great. Okay, so here's what I mean. You got the big blob of spearfish, and then you got some more residential stuff over there, and then you get the big interstate that comes along here, curls along town, and then heads off to the east, right? I'm gonna have someone who's gonna say you get on the main street. It isn't called Main Street though, is it? The high school is technically on Main Street. This is called North Avenue until you hit Jackson. Get on the interstate, head east. Get off at exit 14 is 14, right? Okay. Turn north at exit 14. Turn right at, I forget what it is. But someone's going to say to leave the school, go to Jackson, get on the interstate, and then head over to exit 14. Someone else is going to say, yo, you know there's this cute dude that works over at Dairy Queen? Just like ride the main drag all the way through town so you can creep on him and see if he's working at Dairy Queen on your way over to Walmart. And yet you do it all the time. Teenagers do stuff like this. Okay? Yet another kid is going to say, are you kidding me? The in-town cops hate me. They pulled me over like 4 times. No, I'm going to get on north. I'm going to head up to the next exit, and I'm just going to take the interstate all the way through town because I don't want to drive through that. They're going to pull me over just because they see my car. Someone else just got their license. And mom and dad said, I want you to go to Walmart. We need to pick up 2 jugs of milk and some bananas. Okay, cool. I can do that. I'm going to get on the interstate, and I'm going to go all the way over to Sundance. And I'm going to drive all the way south. Then I'm going to hit that, what is 80? No, not 85. 385. 385. I'm going to come all the way up through Lead and Deadwood. All the way over to the Deadwood exit that's got that little travel plaza now. Come back this way and then I'm going to go to Walmart. You say, this conversation is so far off the rails. What are we even talking about? Did you get there?
Yes.
Did you get there?
Yes.
Did it take longer?
Yes.
Was it not the most efficient way to get there?
Yes.
But you still got there.
Yes.
Did you follow math law? Or in this case, rules of the road? I will assume that you followed the rules of the road and you weren't like Baja and through the ditch. Okay? But you still got there. I want you to take this away from it. Y'all, I won't ever force you to do it a specific way if you can still follow math law and get there a different way. I will never force you to do it my way. If you have another way that works, show me. All of the tips and tricks that I've learned as a teacher, it's because I was working one-on-one with the kid and I said it a different way. And they were like, dude, why didn't you just say it that way to begin with? Well, that doesn't make sense for some kids, but that's easier. All right. And I add it to my little library of tricks. Or a kid says it a certain way that I've never thought of. And now it makes more sense to me. I want you to ask. I want you to feel comfortable being wrong. I want you to try. There's nothing wrong with being wrong as long as we go back and fix it. You have a whole lot of boxes here. They're going to hold your hand and they're going to training wheels you through these problems. Just fill in the boxes. I want you to try these 4. Talk with your neighbors. Argue with your neighbors about math.
There's 6.
There's 6? Oh, there are 6. That's a little too much. We're going to force me to do one. How many we got in here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. The dice have spoken. Kai, which one do I have to do? One of those 6. You make me do that. I have to do what? 8? Okay. Good choice. 8 looks pretty involved. All right. I see a... Are we literally playing hot potato with a pizza? Is it an empty box?
Yes.
What is 0 divided by the entire class?
No.
Oh wait, there is actually a piece in there. Okay, I thought you were just showing me an empty box. Y'all, if you don't want it, throw it over there. Leave it open. We'll grab a Sharpie and write on there free. I guarantee you, one of the freshmen in here with absolutely no shame is going to yank that right away.
Seriously,
Okay.
I have to do that.
Yeah. I've walked out into the hallways before with just an armful of expired food and been like, yo, who wants stuff? And kids will just come by and take it. See? No shame. Good job.
Well, Dylan actually.
Oh, okay. Well, don't give away a free empty box. That's just cruel. Okay. All right. I've got a bunch of stuff in parentheses with an exponent. Who's getting that exponent? Everybody, right? Rule number 7. Everyone in exponent land is getting that exponent. Someone else. When I take b to the third to the second, an exponent to an exponent, what do I do? Multiply. So that means each one of these you're going to write. This is 4 times 2. This is 3 times 2. This is 2 by 2. This is 6 by 2. Now, they actually didn't give me enough blanks for this. I don't like that. So we're going to write them above and below. What is 4 by 2? Okay, so I got a to the 8th. I've got 3 by 2. 2 by 2. 6 by 2. Okay. So we kind of had to take a detour. They didn't have enough blanks for us. I'm really glad you picked this one. Okay. What do I do with an exponent divided by an exponent? Louder! Subtract them. So What is 8 minus 4? What is 6? What is 6 minus 12? I heard it. -6, right? You have $6. You want to buy lunch and it costs 12. You got to borrow $6, right? Uh-oh. No negative exponents. I don't want negative exponents. You're being negative. Knock it off. Go to your room. Where are we taking that B? What rule tells us what to do with the negative?
Switch it down and you bring it down. You flip your switch, you bring it down, and it turns into a positive.
You go downstairs and now you're happier. Now you're positive. Now it's a to the 4th over b to the 6th. Rule number 5 says negatives flip, numerator denominator. Okay? So you see how I had to go a little off-road there to write out more steps? Sometimes they might not have enough blanks for all the stuff you want to write. Sometimes they're going to have too many blanks for what little you want to write. Freshman. Okay? Now I would like you to do the other 5. Okay? Someone said don't erase?
Oh, I got it.
You good? Okay. Come on, you. There you go. Now, everyone do your due diligence with this. Because someone or someone's might end up at the board showing us how these are done. And remember, in my house, when you volunteer someone else, you volunteer yourself. Show me what you got. Oh. You laugh at my misery. Come on now. Get them. You got your 7 rules up there. There we go. That sticks a little better. Ain't gonna do itself. I know we got a lot of teenage boys in here. It doesn't work like that in math. Just staring at it, it ain't gonna do itself. If you're not sure, then ask. Talk to your neighbor. Look at those rules over there. Which one does it look like? It shouldn't be dead quiet in here when we're working if you're talking about math. I want you talking about math with your neighbors. Hi?
I don't understand this.
What's a negative do?
Do I just
Flip the whole honkin' works downstairs.
So this would be negative
Then
7
clean
to
it
the
up.
power of negative 2.
All of it to the second. Remember, because when it goes downstairs, it's not negative
So it's
anymore.
just 7 to the second, or negative 7 to
Whole
the
thing.
second?
7s to the 4th, t to the 7th, to the second.
Well, yeah, but don't I separate all this?
No, those are the different stages, because then you have to apply the second. Okay, so we're overthinking this a lot.
Okay, but when I put the S here and the 2
No,
here,
no, 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 no. Wait, Oh, those are time signs. I thought those are okay. Maybe my eyes are finally going.
So would I put the S
7
there
to
and
the
the T
second
there
S.
and then
Yes,
okay.
yes.
That's what my question was.
I'm gonna put my own brownie point up there in shame. That was bad. Don't you smirk at me. What is it with everyone here laughing at my pain? Okay. Come on. Yo.
Would you mind if I ran down to the library and got this copy so I could have a page to look at instead of having to flip back every single time? Because I've copied the other ones that we've done.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
There you go. Use your resources. Get over here, take a picture of it so you don't have to keep flipping back to the other page. I like that. That's thinking.
Is that a goblin deck?
Mm-mm. Straight up burn.
Do you have any goblin decks?
I have a current standard one, and I also have a commander deck with Muxus.
I really want to get a goblin deck. Those things are so good.
I call it my army in a can because it's all penny sleeved and thrown in a watch tin.
I have a
There you go.
starter deck that I bought a couple days ago.
Don't do that.
Actually, I haven't used it yet.
As someone who is engaged in autistic overload self-harm for 36 years, no, it doesn't.
Yeah.
She's smart.
Maybe that's why I'm
Take it.
Okay, yoink. Talk to me, Gooks.
stuck on 4.
Okay.
And do I simplify it now? That's 100.
Well, yeah, because if you turn this in 25 and that into 100, now what's 100 divided by 25? What's $1 divided by quarters? How many quarters go into $1?
4.
There you go. Check it. I should not be trusted with mental math in the afternoons. Battery's running low.
I'm good at mental math, but I suck at it. Yeah, that's right.
Well, sometimes you just low blood sugar. Get some go juice.
For caffeine?
Yeah, that's what I do.
Yeah, same. So what are these lines for? Just extra room?
Name the properties used.
Oh, okay.
So you use the 2 to both of them. That's rule 7. So just say number 7.
Okay.
And then, whenever I have an exponent over an exponent, oh wait, we didn't even do that. We just simplified them. So that's it. That's the only one you used.
Alright.
Okay.
And then I'm stuck on this one, because I don't think this is right. I got 1 over 1.
Oh, no. Anything to the 0 power is 1. Anything to the first is itself. The negative says flip the switch. Head downstairs.
Like 10 or 7, my dad gave me a
So it's just C.
Well, because it's C to the first, but I don't need to write the 1.
Oh,
If you want to, that's okay.
alright.
That's it.
And then I think I used rule 6, I'm pretty sure.
Here?
No, for number 5. Saturn.
Oh.
Name the property.
Oh, yeah. Rule 6. Yep. And I also used a negative exponent going to the bottom.
How is a bank?
Rule 5. I think. Yeah, rule 5.
Yo, go on now. Rule number
5.
5. There you go. Okay, these ones you just simplify. You don't have to say what rule, but you're still using those rules.
So would 6 be like 7? Wait.
Oh, So for this B part, they're saying these specifically.
Oh, okay.
An exponent over an exponent.
You multiply that? No. Okay. Subtract? No.
There you go. Rule 6 says subtract them. 8 minus 2.
What's, how do I do 5?
Okay.
Do I need to put a B? B.
So you'll say b to the 6th. Don't forget this part. What is 12 divided by 6?
2?
So it's 2b to the 6th.
Okay.
Got a trailer with it. Okay.
Am I doing 5 to right so far?
Okay. Close. If this was c to the 4th times c to the 5th, I would add them.
What?
This is c to the 4th over c to the 5th. I mean, it's the same idea. If when I multiply, I add, then when I divide, I will subtract. So you get c to the negative 1st, but then you got to remember that negative rule that says you're being too negative, go downstairs. No, just c to the 1st.
Oh.
C is being negative, so c goes downstairs.
So is it 5 or 6?
Both. You used rule 6 over here, and then you use rule 5 right there.
I see.
Okay?
Thank you.
You might use all 7 rules in one problem. I know that's not what you want to hear right now. But you might. Okay, just keep looking back at that list. Or, you took a picture of it, look at it there so you don't have to crane your head around people.
Is this right?
Okay?
I'm on 7.
They both get it, and then, yep, now what? What do you do with an exponent to an exponent? Yeah?
Okay, so
You're doing so good when you look at that list. So keep using it. When you look at that list, you're doing so good. These doing all right? Okay. Oh, hold on. Just got to cover it. Okay. Oh, yes. Oh. Okay, we're going to be working on fractions and exponents here. I can wiggle that in. Thank you. Yes. That's one of my deals I talk about in classes. We're learning this skill. Use the tools to help you do the skill. The whole idea of like taking a calculator away from them, like, oh, I multiply, 7 times 8 once they get to high school. If they don't know how to reduce a fraction once they're in high school, use the tools. Okay. Thank you. Yep. Okay. Ah.
You okay, Sully?
My knees are old. I am not okay. Okay. They wrote this one kind of goofy. They want you to split it up. So it's like 1 over 7 to the second. 1 over s to the 4th to the second. 1 over. They split them up.
Okay.
Yeah, their boxes were a little goofy on that problem. Okay. Just about there. You missing a packet?
Must have gone home. I'm just gonna write it down on here and then do it on a packet.
And you don't have to transfer it over. You don't have to copy things. If you want to just take that and staple it in there, call it good. Okay. You never need to like recopy things. That's extra work. Oh yeah, Kevin had to grab a second packet because he left his at home. So y'all can just keep like hot potato your way through it, right? Are we done with both?
Yep.
Okay.
So yeah, apparently my desk got mixed up right here, so I have to reorganize it.
Wah, wah. Sad face. Is there? Oh, so they did the boxes really weird on these. The, see how it's times. Oh, sorry. Why the fourth over? Yes.
That's right?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Wisdom juice. Oh God, that sounds like it could be such a battle cry for a fraternity. Oh man. So they all got the negative. That means they're all going downstairs.
And it's all going to just be
And they're all going to get the 2, so that's why they're separated. It's 7 to the 1 times 2. S to the 4 times 2. T to the... Yo! Everything perfect so far. Now, what is 100 divided by 25? 4. Ta-da! That's it. And then they want you to say what property. Just write the rule number. You don't have to write the... There you go, number 7. Rule 7.
What do I do next? On 7.
Okay.
All I know about 9 is that it's 4 and 5, and that's.
I'm not going to tell you because you learn the best by teaching. Help them out. You did it. You did it right. Explain it to your neighbor. Come on, Haas. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Yes, that one's right. And then you say which rule it was. Well, which rule has a fraction in parentheses with an exponent on it. Don't go all the way back to these. Just say which number. Okay. Parentheses with a fraction and an exponent on the outside.
6.
6 has the fraction. 7 has the fraction and the parentheses. Dude, just you're killing me, Smalls. Stare at it. Okay, just go take a picture of it.
Okay.
See, okay, you're smart. You have the ID on there. I was just gonna like whip over here and take a picture of it with your phone. There you go. No, use your resources. Just have that out in front of you, okay?
Yeah.
Especially because you can put it right next to your paper and compare. So which of these looks like this? There you go. So just say rule 7. Okay. Now look at this. I have a exponent divided by an exponent. Look at these. Which one has a exponent over an exponent?
Number 6 does.
And number 6 did what with them?
Subtracted.
Okay, so do 4 minus 5 in the box. Which is?
Which is 1.
Close.
Or, sorry, would that be negative?
Negative 1.
Yeah.
Which means now I have a negative exponent. Which one's got negative exponents?
Number 4. Well, no, they're just subtraction. Yeah, number 4.
Negative exponents. 5.
Okay.
And 5 says if I have a negative exponent, throw it downstairs without the negative. So throw it downstairs without the negative.
Oh, okay.
So instead of c to the negative first, now it's just c to the first. C to the first.
And then I'd put rule.
Rule, you used Rule 7 and Rule 5.
Okay.
Okay? Is it better just having that right next to you?
Yes.
Do that in class.
Okay.
Like if we're ever writing something down and I say, hey, you should all have this, refer back to this, go back to the front page. Then go to the page, take a picture of it, and put your phone right next to the stuff you're working on.
Okay.
Don't flip back and forth. That doesn't make anyone go cross-eyed. Use this, okay? I want you using that. Y'all, I love how much that we're starting to ask. I see this every semester in this class. That you'll get kids who come in who have always just tried to not be seen in math. You don't get that chance here. You're going to have 2 or 3 teachers in the room at any given time. We're going to get up in your face and see that you are doing this. Okay? We're going to ask that you're doing it. We're going to ask you to explain it. We're going to keep coming back to those rules. We're going to tell you to write it down. Take a picture. And when you do, I'm seeing already some of you that maybe struggled with this 2 days ago are now like, oh, hey, it's just that. I want this. I want you using those resources. I want you asking questions. I want you not afraid to be wrong. Just try. Y'all doing great. You're doing great. So with that said, another phrase you're going to get used to in my room. Volunteer or get drafted. Meaning, everyone's going to that board. But if you volunteer early enough, you get to pick which one you do. So you pick the one you're comfortable with. Landon already hopped up. So, okay. All right. You're also all going to get a real crash course in how to use these things. Okay. Which one you doing?
Let's go ahead and do number 4.
You're going to do 4? Poke the magnifying glass to make sure that you're on Zoom. Start here, but you have to go left to right before. No, don't just tap it. Drag across and then down. It took me and 2 tech guys a solid 40 minutes of swearing like you wouldn't believe at this board a few years ago to figure out that on the Windows 10 update, you have to go left to right with the marquee zoom instead of up and down, because if you do that, it'll scroll the page. We didn't know why when Tony did it, it worked fine, but when me and John did it, it always crapped out. You have to go left to right first. And y'all, our tech guys, they know some words. They know some words. Go ahead, pick up a marker. Show us what you got.
So taking. Why is it like?
Because you picked up the black marker, and black is opposite of white on an inverted color wheel.
So the 2 is outside of the brackets, and the brackets are surrounding it. So it's going to have both of these numbers get the 2. So the 10 gets the 2, and the 5 gets the 2. And 10 to the second power is going to be 100. And 5 to the second power is going to be 25. And then you just subtract those because you're switching this up. So you get 70.
Ooh. Swing and a miss. Close. No, this is a good one. This is a good one to know. Anyone here have family like out on Standing Rock or Pine Ridge? Okay. Tribal sovereignty. This is cross-curricular education. Tribal sovereignty means that any one of our First Nations have their own laws. They might have federal laws because they're considered a part of the United States, but they also are sovereign nations within the United States, meaning they have their own laws. So if you go over here, maybe I have to have the concealed carry permit and I also need to have the registration for it on me. Versus if I was 20 miles this way, I only need the permit. Why would I say this? Why would we talk about there being rules here that might not affect here? These are in exponent land. Exponent land, yes, I would subtract them. Are these exponents? You have left the reservation. You are no longer in tribal law. So now you're going to go back to what's just 100 divided by 25?
24.
4. That's it. You're not going to subtract them because now these are not in exponent land. These are in exponent land. If this was 5 to the 100th over 5 to the 25? 25? 25th? Words are hard. They really are. If I had 5 to the 100th over 5 to the 25th, then I would say 5 to the 75th because that's exponent land's law. These aren't exponent land anymore. You took them out of exponent land. So now it's just regular old division. 4. If that got anyone else here, I want you to write that note next to this problem. That at this stage, it's in exponent land. In this stage, it's not. So here I would subtract exponents. Here I just divide like normal. Because I'm no longer in exponent land. I am now following different laws. Okay? Thank you, bud. I like that you're willing to come up here. That's great. Okay? Volunteer or get drafted. Kevin? Number 5. Okay. Volunteer or get drafted, and I don't let you go back up there until everyone has gone. I keep track from day to day. You all going up there, so you better volunteer for the thing you know how to do. Oh no, just keep working. Oh, Kevin, boo! You can't just write things. Talk to me, Goose. What are you doing?
So I took the 4 and 5 and I subtracted it,
Okay.
and then
Rule number 6: subtract them.
and then I put c to the first power because 4 minus 7 is 1.
Ooh, 4 minus 5 is.
Or negative 10.
So just put your negative with it. There you go. And then
I flipped the switch and then got positive 1 over 1.
the 1 stays with the c. It's c to the first is on the bottom. There you go. Okay. And both of these, they said, tell us which rule you used. Landon's was rule 7, I think. Okay. Which rules are you using here, Kev?
I'm using rule 5.
Okay. Rule 5 is what allowed you to flip the negative. And what rule lets you subtract? Rule 6 says exponent divided by exponent, you'll divide. Or when you divide exponents, you'll subtract. Words really are hard today. Holy wow. All right, thanks, bud. Volunteer or get drafted. Speaking of, do we have anyone in here who's a little bit older than the average sophomore? Anyone 17 already? Okay. You got a year to register.
A year?
Okay. Which one?
7.
Whoa. There we go. All right.
The 2's outside the bracket, you
Hey, up here.
and the 2.
Everyone gets a car. Yep. Now what?
Okay, so since it's y with the power of 2 and the 2's outside the bracket, You take that 2 times the other 2, the 2 exponents times each other.
Yes, sir.
That'll be 4. And since it's 2 to the power of 2, that would be 4.
Okay. Can I take the 4 minus the 4 now? One is in exponent land, one is not. So I cannot go monkeying with them. One's on one side of the border, the other's on the other. So wow, that was redundant. Okay. Volunteer or get drafted. Who's up? I'll let the dice decide for me if I have to. We still have 6 and 9.
I think you should shoot someone. Shoot them with your gun, and then whoever hits it goes.
No, that thing's too accurate.
Too accurate.
It really is.
You should get a picture.
I gave those away when I went to college. All right. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We'll ignore 12. Oh, wait. Kevin already went.
Yep.
So I need D10. 10! That's okay. We'll walk it through. Do you want 6 or do you want 9? Which one you want? Pick one. Okay. Get up. Come on, come on. Grab markers. They're fun to play with. Volunteer or get drafted. It's every time we go through everyone in the class, we go again and again and again and again. Y'all, are you kidding me? This is week 3. This is week 3 out of 36. You're going to be up here. Okay. So, I see a b to the 8th over b to the 2nd. Look over there. Which of those rules does b to the 8th over b to the 2nd look like? And rule 6 says to do what? Remember? No, look at rule 6. What did I do with the 8 and the 6 there? Subtract them, right? So, right above that, what is 8 minus 2?
Well, it's good to start.
So write the 6 in the big box. Yay! Now what is 12 divided by 6? Because those are outside of exponent land. How many 6s fit into a 12? 2. So your final answer is 2b to the 6th. Over on the blank, on the blank, on the blank. There you go. B to the 6. That's it. That's all you gotta do. You did great. You did good. Number 9, who's got it? Or am I letting the dice speak? One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Micah. Yeah, get up here. Come on, bud. Y'all, I want you to be comfortable with this. Okay. Number 9. Who's getting that -2? All of them. You see how it's broken up? 3 different things? 7, S, and T are 3 different things. So give the 7 the 2. Give the S to the 4th the 2. Go ahead and give all of them that 2. Yep. Give them the 2. When it goes downstairs, you lose the negative. 7 to the 2nd. All right. Come on now. Someone's pouring their heart and mathematical soul out. Give them a little support. Okay, we got a question. Is it 4 plus 2? Is it 4 times 2? 4 minus 2? What do I do with an exponent to an exponent? Crowdsource.
Multiply.
You multiply them. So let's say 4 times 2. It's like Groupon for math problems. Okay? And then t to the 7 times 2. Okay, now at the very last box, finish it all off. Do you know what 7 squared is off the top of your head? No. Do you know what 7 times 7 is? If not, grab yourself a calculator or phone a friend. Y'all, I want you using your resources. Okay, everyone, I want you to see what's happening though. I don't know how to use this tool. I asked someone how to use this tool. Not, oh, well, I'm not going to do this. This sucks. It was, how do I use this tool? There's a question, and someone's able to help. Keep that in mind. 49, S to the 8th, yep. T to the 14th. Okay, for everyone who came up here, thank you very much. I know that gets really awkward. I know not everyone's comfortable with that. Go ahead and erase it. Right below that, we do not have enough time for the next thing. So, just like we did with 1, 2, when you come back on all the way on Monday, we're going to finish off the last few examples, and then I'm going to set you loose to do it in class. I know that's a long time, so be prepared for maybe a little bit of extra practice before I set you loose. Okay?